Trustee Fisher?
Here.
Trustee McDowell? Trustee Farson?
Here.
Trustee Stackhouse?
Here.
Chairman Neal?
Here. Mr. Bremner, would you honor us? Or would you do the honors, I should say?
Please join me in pledging allegiance to the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir, very much. Are there any agenda changes to come before the board this evening? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Farson?
Aye.
Trustee Stackhouse?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 5, citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments this evening? Yes, Mr. Bremner?
Ma'am, I'm looking at the minutes from last month. And if I'm reading this correctly, the township rather owes $100,000 on township building.
That's generally correct.
I was, several years ago in these chambers, the city, at that time, I believe, had the mortgage on the building, and they forgave the entire mortgage. And I thought at that time that the building was debt-free.
No.
Am I mistaken?
Partly, the city had sold the property to the township. So it was just the property that loan was for that they forgave. We still had the mortgage for the building of the building.
The land.
Just the land.
Ah,
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for paying attention. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Okay. Moving on. Item 6 is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held on January 21st, 2025 at 6 o'clock p.m. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion second.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Farson?
Aye.
Trustee Stackhouse?
Abstain.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Trustee McDowell said he's just running late. Item 7 is authorized bills for payment. Trustee Fisher.
Yes, I asked for approval for payment of the bills, total $111,399.44.
Is there a second?
Second.
A second. Discussion. For Trustee Stackhouse had asked a question around,
Support.
what is it? Public support. And so, just to find that, to run it down. So Sandra, is public support public assistance on the agenda?
I believe it is.
I mean, on the.
Yes, it is.
That
It surely
matches up with our GA, I believe.
Perfect,
It
so
is.
General
so that's
assistance
the
fund.
public assistance, and it's actually flat grants for our general assistance clients. They get up to $450 per month while they're looking for work, job training, medical and dental, the medical reserve, emergency assistance, people that are in crisis, and then client payment service fees, which we haven't had any this year, and then transient aid as well. But to say that, so that's all of the general assistance program
Okay.
funds. On top of that, Trustee Frierson had a question about job training and what all is entailed in that. Sandra, do you want to share?
So the question was what was covered under the job training, and Client Service Director Adrian Ortiz stated that any GA clients needing transportation such as gas vouchers or bus passes to and from interviews, job search, or once they find employment, uniform or anything needed to get started on the job, monthly GA client group for needed items, And then, we also offered a grant for a financial workshop for new clients and also emergency assistance.
Got it. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay.
And, sorry, and
No, go
then the
ahead.
other question was, on the financials versus the service report, it didn't match. And that was because what the monthly report shows what is paid out from both vouchers, and then the financial report shows what was actually cashed or, submitted for payment already.
Got it. Thank you.
So one is counting people and the other one is counting the actual, the third, which month that the payment process is in?
This will be, so we're in February, so it's between January and February. So this is January, so whatever is paid for like the end of January usually shows up in February's financials.
So what I found was the number of clients listed on the support form for flat grants was like 25, but the number of disbursements on the check register was slightly lower than that. So I was asking about that difference.
Right.
And so her response was, it's approvals, which is the 25, versus everything that's been approved won't necessarily disperse in this month. So, okay.
Awesome. Any other questions about the financials? None. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Ryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Stackhouse?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 8, assessor's report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As a reminder, a letter went out to the residents who have annual renewal exemptions. And, excuse me, that letter was sent out from my office. The county is mailing out theirs. They'll mail them out later on, probably next month, as a backup. But we wanted to be proactive because what we found is that sometimes people will come in a mad rush when they get the letter from the county, and when they come in, they don't have all of their documentation, or we find that some people may have forgotten to file last year. And so the way things work, when you file for your exemptions this year, it is for your bill next year. So those people who forgot to do theirs last year, they need to get that information to us as soon as possible this year, in order for their bill not to reflect not having that exemption. So it would be a lot of back and forth, like really jammed at the last minute, because we know the bills are generated and sent out the first part of May, when they're due in June. So we made a decision to send letters out in January so that we can kind of get a jump start and to remind some of our more maturing taxpayers, so that they can, if they come in with their documentation, they don't have everything, they can still have enough time to gather it, locate it, and bring it back to us, and get it taken care of for them. So that's the reason why those things went out. I did post it out there on social media and things like that, and I notated the website here for those that are able to do it online themselves. But always just trying to find ways to bridge the gaps and to be proactive so that we're not, everybody's not rushed to do everything and not have somebody charged unnecessarily on their bills when they skip a year accidentally. The Senior Citizens Real Estate Tax Deferral is a state of Illinois program that allows qualified seniors to defer up to $7,500 yearly on property taxes on their personal residence, and that's at a 3% simple interest per year. That is through the Lake County Treasurer's Office, not my office, through the Lake County Treasurer's Office. So they're taking applications until the 28th of this month, and I referred their contact information in the report, but you can always go to visit the Lake County Treasurer's page and look for the Senior Citizen Tax Deferral Program to get more information on that, or you can call their office. And that is Holly Kim's office, the state treasurer, county treasurer, excuse me. The Illinois Department of Revenue has denied the non-homestead application for the City of Hope once again. So, we've done our part, now it's just gonna be, up to the state if they, file for anything else over and above, the filing that we completed and submit it down to the state. We now know that we're not gonna have a board meeting next month. I just wanted to let you guys know that I wouldn't have been in attendance, because I'll be at the state conference. And our office is still validating new sales and completing field work and property inspections, as weather permits, and, updating all of our data. We have been allowed back into our books. Everything else has been closed out, so, residents that got or received a reduction, anything with their assessments through the, filing period, you should have received correspondence from the from the county by now. They did send the letters out to you. And in the community, I will be, speaking at the, Zion Central and Shallow Park Middle School Black History Celebration on Friday the 21st. Looking forward to that. And as always, check our website and Facebook page, and we have an Instagram page for more updates and information. Any questions?
Any questions, comments, concerns, kudos?
Thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. Item 9, Supervisor's Report and Announcements. I'm going to start by welcoming our newest trustee, Beverly Stackhouse. So you have definitely been ingrained in our community for a very long time, so it's an honor to serve in this position.
Yes.
So thankful to be here. Yeah, looking forward to it. So we will miss Jackie. We do miss Jackie, and you are a wonderful replacement. So thank you. Very cool. So a number of items, just in my report, we give the monthly report of how we've been doing. Incoming calls continue to go up. Last year, 2023, we had 525 calls for the month of January. 2024, we had 584 for the month, and this year we had 622. We're still trying to get to the bottom of, there's something in the city's phone system that people are getting transferred to our office from the water department. So, what's that?
Sandra and I came up with that solution.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so we'll see how the numbers go down this month, or the next time the water bill comes up. So, way to go, ladies. But definitely staying busy. One of the questions that was asked last month was, or at some point, was around the passports and why the numbers have gone up so drastically. And the majority of the passports right now are Latino children. So people are trying to get their documents in order to make sure that everything's okay with them. And just to say out loud, so on the 24th at 5:30 p.m., we are partnering with the Zion Benton Public Library to hold a session on Know Your Rights and how to protect your loved one, how to best protect your loved ones. And so we've got Hassas coming out. Adriana is heading up that work, and just looking at helping people just to know how to best protect themselves so that the worst doesn't happen in different situations. And then can I just share, we're partnering with the assessor's office. She's going to do her shtick on explaining assessments and all those items to my staff, and they're gonna help to figure out a way to better connect with the Latino community based on the information. So it was a fun conversation when they were like, yeah, we don't even know how to translate some of the words that you say, right? And so it's like, so if it's translated, then people still don't know. And there's just, we were talking about silos a little bit earlier. We don't even know that they're there, but finding just different ways to break them down. So that was a fun, it was like this discovery, just in conversation, right? It was so fun. So very grateful for Colette. We've got, let's see, a number of things. So we had the Lake County Joy Summit on January 25th, the inaugural event. Really proud of it. We had 231 people register. We had about 180 attend. It was a huge success. All of the feedback was incredible. And we really want to continue hosting this event at Zion Benton Township High School because our whole goal is to change the way people feel about Zion. We want them to feel joy when they think of Zion instead of thinking of the stereotypical Zampton. And so looking forward, the date of next year's event is January 31st. And so we're already in process for that. And then a number of other things coming up. We've got the Queen Bees of Zion Red Hat Society. We have a trip on this Thursday. We're going to be going to a movie and lunch. And then on the 22nd, they'll be attending the annual Black History celebration at the high school from 12 until 2. We will also have a table there, I believe, with information as well. Then the Zion Quarterly comes out the first week of April. Deadline for information is
Next week, the 28th.
next week. Okay, perfect. We have to get on that. And then we have the Zion Senior Resource Expo, Zion Benton Senior Resource Expo, Wednesday, April 16th.
Correct.
We have how many vendors already signed up?
39
39. So,
out of 60.
yeah. And so it's filling up fast. It is, as a matter of fact, I was speaking to somebody that gave me their card at the Historical Society, and he said, we want to go to that. There's one at the Lake County Fair, and it's hundreds of dollars to be in that fair. Hundreds. And so realizing, like, we really do have the best senior expo in Lake County. We've been told that by vendors, but we didn't believe it. But when I found out, like, then they have to, so I'm just really grateful for the work that we're doing. Considering the first time we had one, Al Hill was the park district director, and we held it at the Shiloh Center. And it was maybe 10 vendors, right? And it was just a little cute thing. And now Sandra, who oversees it, has blown it up into quite an event. So, way to go. So, Junior ZBLA, you guys want to celebrate a little bit and share what's going on with that? It's a big deal.
So we have our biggest class this year. It's 21 students, 8th through 12th graders, and we have 2 of those students are returning peer leaders. They graduated last year, a year before last, and they've come back to be peer leaders because they enjoyed it so much, and they just want to be able to, continue to work on their leadership skills and things like that. So we've had some pretty great classes. We had some great speakers who have come in and talked to them about entrepreneurship. We had someone to come in and talk to them about AI and finding their why and recognizing their purpose and what they're good at and things like that. So we're looking forward. Our last session is Saturday, and then we have a graduation on the 1st of March. And and the greatest thing that has happened this year is that Miss Sandra, who is on the team, created an app for the program. And it's made things that much more smoother. And if anybody knows anything about me, I don't like paper. And so this has been a big win. And it's just a better way to be able to communicate. We know everybody, or most people, young people especially, do everything on their phones. So they've been our biggest critics, yet help, because they've been telling us what they can and cannot see, giving suggestions on what we should and should not do. So it's been able to help us figure out, the kinks and things like that. So kudos to Miss Sandra for that. And everybody else that's committed to doing some things in the future.
Get out of the way.
But yeah, so we're just really excited, and believe it or not, this will be our 9th graduation. I was counting years, and I'm like, this will be our 9th graduation. So yeah.
Way to go.
Of our young kids. Yeah, so.
Yay.
Miss Sandra, you wanna add anything else to that?
I do not. You covered everything. The minute you put my name in it, we covered everything.
Okay then. And I'm working with Rick Cochran, who's retired from the city of Zion, and Frank Flamini to rebuilding together. I had a phone conversation with Rich Anson and to have them consider carrying the applications in their vehicles, so that when they have a resident that has repairs and they're tagging them, but they don't have the resources to afford it, they'll give them the application and then they'll turn it into the township. So at the same time, Rick Cochran is knocking on every door to get teams together so that the last Saturday in April, Mike, you were probably involved. It was a long time ago, but we had 17 houses that were worked on in one day, and it was just the most incredible community energy of everybody working together, and we really want to rebuild that. So, and so Rebuilding Together is an organization that they replace roofs and furnaces and, I mean, painting houses and doing all kinds of stuff for individuals that can't afford to do those repairs themselves. And I mean, if you think about like the benefit of that in one neighborhood, and they said we could target a neighborhood and just see if like one neighborhood wanted to be involved in it one year and do some things. So there's a lot of opportunities. So who's the commissioner over building and zoning? Is it you? Interesting, cool. So yeah, I'd love to talk more. Wait, so get out of my way so I can give them the locks over. But so really looking forward to moving forward with that. And then we're also in the planning for Zinnias for Zion. I met with the city engineer, Chris, and walked through downtown to begin piloting, just planting some zinnias on Sheridan Road. And so he gave me the thumbs up for doing the corners of 27th Street and then in front of Ace Hardware, just to see. We will have to sign a harmless, what is it called?
Hold harmless agreement.
Yes, hold harmless agreement, because they don't know what wires are under that ground, so if anything were to, like, if any of us get fried, we can't blame the city, so. But looking forward to that. But Zinnia flat orders are being taken now through Friday, so they're $22 a flat, and they'll get delivered in the middle of May. So anybody that's interested in that, thanks to Sandra again, you can just go to zinniasforzion.com and put in your order, and it's a smooth process. So grateful for that. And then a couple of dates, and then a few other things. The Corporate Community Spelling Bee is up and running for the Coalition for Health Communities. It's going to be on April 24th. We have a team working on that, and then the team is headed up by Deb Will, who is also heading up relaunching Mama's Run, and so that'll be on May 10th. So that will be fun. And then we'll be hosting the other run, the Zinnia and Monarch Festival run, on August 16th. So the festival will be on the 16th and 17th of this year. And then just a few other things to share. At the last meeting, I went back and we, Sandra reached out to Illinois funds to find out how we can invest some of the money that's sitting in the account through them. And then we also have appointments with Wintrust, Great Lakes Credit Union, and Consumers Credit Union. So Colette, myself, and Sandra will be at those. If anybody else would like to sit in on it, we'd love to have you there. That's all I got with that. I think that's, oh no, it's not everything, duh. So like 3 weeks ago, I got invited, Nick was probably more, I don't know when, over to the old Zion Christian School by Family First, Rachel Chenier, and I assumed I was walking into the same building I went into a few years ago when my daughter moved back, and they were like daydreaming about redoing that building. And I walked in, and it's almost completely renovated. It's absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. Granted, they have to come up with the funding to make it handicap accessible. They have to put in a lift or something. But I was with Maurice Barnett, also known as Stretch, and Rachel, and I asked them what their vision was for it, and they had a couple of thoughts, but they were like, we really, really just want to make this available to the community. And it's this good-sized gym and 10 classrooms. And so they asked if we could just call together a meeting, a conversation, to be able to just brainstorm, like, what's going on in the community, what do we want in the community. I've been talking to Richard about it for quite a while. And so I met this morning with Emily, who is in the Zion Benton Leadership Academy and also in the National Honor Society, and so she's gonna facilitate the conversation. I met with Pastor Doug Carlson from Grace Missionary Church. We're gonna be able to hold it in their multi-purpose room. And so the idea is that on Tuesday, February 25th, from 3:30 until 5:30, we will meet there and have that conversation, and then at 5:30 go over to the Old Zion Christian School for a tour so everybody can see it. We couldn't have it there because they don't have bathrooms yet, so it's kind of critical for that piece. But I have like the agenda and some information. I know I've spoken specifically to the three of you on it. And so I brought this for you guys to look over. If you have ideas, suggestions, any way you want to be involved, and anybody else that wants to be there. This is an open conversation for anybody that has a passion for youth and families and bringing in services and resources to and programs for the community. So, and we're kind of intending that this is really a huge networking, brainstorming, and that from that conversation, people will like get involved in different ways with, the whole goal is like, what are the key things we want to bring and who are the champions to do that, right? And so, just to hold that space. So, really excited about that conversation, and hoping we'll have everybody there. And yeah, really, it was even funner to be able to work with Emily and hopefully one other student to make this happen. So,
Cool.
anything else? That's the end of my report. Anything to come before the board? Okay, again?
Don't forget about the meeting on March 4th.
Oh, that was on a separate note that I put. March meeting, budget approval. So, do you wanna just share with us, like, how that's gonna go, what we're doing?
So,
March 4th, we're gonna have the township board meeting for the month.
because we had to cancel the second meeting, so
okay.
we have to approve the agenda for the annual meeting. And that we won't have another meeting before that.
To go.
So since we're already gonna be here for the council meeting, I figured we could, and it has to be after March 1st, so we have to kind of coordinate that. We have a little window in there, so figured since everybody was gonna be here that day, we could just real quick have that kind of.
6 p.m.
Yeah, yes, 6 p.m. Yeah, and that's on, so we'll have it at 6 p.m. I'm actually going to be visiting my grandchildren, so that trumps everything. But Sandra, the things that we want to make sure we do at that meeting are the agenda for the annual town meeting. And just so everybody understands, the annual town meeting is a meeting that's held on the same night, same time in every township across the state of Illinois. And it's for people to come and just share thoughts, ideas of things that they want to see happen through the township that year. And so, the last time we had a full house was when we were trying to move forward with the Boys and Girls Club, I think. And it freaked out the board members a little bit, because I had a packed house. But, what's that?
When is that?
It's Tuesday, April 8th, correct? At 6 p.m. And the story I tell myself that we don't have people come anymore, one is because people don't know about it, but two is because people come and tell me every single day what they want us to do, and we tend to listen. So the story I tell myself anyway. If that's not true, come to the meeting and tell me that I'm wrong. So we'll want to approve that agenda. We'll have the report back from the Wintrust Great Lakes Credit Union Consumers, so that Sandra and Colette will be able to share the results of that. And then also, each of you has a copy of the drafted budget for next year, and so we want to approve that. We want to have the public hearing and approve it in April so that we have the budget before we start in May. And so we'll also, if there's any questions, we would love for you individually, if you have questions, to reach out so that we can make sure that everybody knows exactly what there is in here. And then Sandra will have that discussion with you on the 4th as well for us to approve in April.
And we're still waiting on that report from Lauterbach about the mortgage, correct? And how we're reporting that long-term liability?
You mean all the liabilities? Because we've got liabilities of $305,000. Right, yeah, yes, we're still waiting to hear back from. Is that Nathan or Kevin?
Kevin,
Okay, so we're waiting on the auditor to report back to the accountant, so.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, and I think they're out of town. Kevin is out of town right now.
that's probably why he hasn't responded.
Yeah, he's not working right now. So yeah, so that's all we got. Cool. All right. If there's nothing else to come before the board, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee Ryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Stackhouse?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Meeting adjourned.